you can also think of NDAs as that when you have a friend that won't give you gist, those amebo gist that what's going on, but that friend that will not give you that hot gist that is trending. Yeah.
In some instances, non-competes are even for C-suite people.
Yeah, not for the regular.
Yeah, not for with the regular.
Not the regular.
Because you can't put that in a driver's employment contract, right? It wouldn't make sense.
So you're not even the owner of the organization. So you are put in charge of something. Then they're putting you in charge of something and then taking that thing out without the permission of the person that employed you. I feel it's also stealing. Welcome back to Clause and Effects Show with Jumi and JT, the smart conversational law podcast, where fine print is turned into clear conversations. And today we are going to be tackling two contracts that can either protect your business or feel like handcuffs: NDAs and non-competes. Now, whether you're a business owner trying to protect your trade secrets or an employee wondering if your former employer can really stop you from getting that new job, this episode is for you.
So welcome again, everyone. Today we'll be talking, just like you've said, about two concepts, the NDAs and the non-competes. NDAs, of course, the full meaning is non-disclosure agreements, and non-competes are also a type of agreement, or what you call a clause in maybe an employment agreement or like a service contract. So to go a little bit into what the two of them mean, right? NDAs are essentially saying don't disclose something that you became aware of while you were with me, right? Think of it the same way. If you are, to simplify it, if you are in a relationship, you don't hear your dirty laundry in the public.
Except that people do that these days. So
except that they do it, but the concept is that if it's a commercial relationship and you became aware of certain information, think of it this way. I think I bought something from one of these restaurants the other day and I really liked it. And I was like, if I could get one of them to come and make it for me
at home.
Hello,
breaking the law.
No. I mean, it's just a thought. So what the non-disclosure behind some of the several agreements you see today say is that someone employed by Chicken Republic, someone employed by Item 7, or any other restaurant that think of it as a chef, they shouldn't, for instance, disclose the recipe for certain meals outside, right? Because that would be a disclosure of what their own employers consider business secrets.
Trade secrets.
So that's typically what you have in a non-disclosure agreement.
So I think for me, I would say non-disclosure agreements like as a pinky promise, except with the fact that lawyers are involved in this. When you were small and then maybe you have a thing with your friend and you're pinky swear or pinky promise, whatever it is, that you won't tell somebody else. So non-disclosure agreements is you not putting out trade secrets of your organization, your firm, your workplace, and telling it to outsiders or to another competing organization. You can't take, for example, like he said, when you're working in a restaurant as a chef, you can't take your signature recipe and then take it to another restaurant just to make more money. You'll be in breach of your employee agreement, you'll be in breach of your contract, and you can end up in jail because of that.
Well, not necessarily in jail.
Not necessarily in jail, but you can end up getting sued. Let me just put it that way. You can end up
civil
getting
liability.
sued. Civil liability. And then apart from that, I feel like a lot of these things also has to do with, a part of it has to do with morality, because why would you take something that it's mine? It's just like stealing, taking what's not yours, because you are an employee, you are not even the owner of the organization. So you are put in charge of something, then they're putting you in charge of something and then taking that thing out without the permission of the person that employed you. I feel it's also stealing.
Yeah, I mean, not to make a case for people doing that. But when you look at the reason why people want to profiteer, you look at, how much do they pay these guys, right? Because that's what a typical employee would be incentivized for.
Yeah.
That, oh,
how much are they paying me? How much am I
I can
earning?
take this and, you know,
make more money
on the side, right? Again, I'm not making a justification for them, just giving a reason.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, the point is that when you have an NDA clause in your employment agreement or in your service contract, right, it's good to understand it, which is why we are here today. What's the effect when you fail to abide by that NDA clause, right? The consequences are, it's not what we see in everyday life, because it's mostly not out there. I don't think in Nigeria we enforce NDAs a lot.
Yeah, I've never really
come across.
Yes, because it's, I mean, enforcing NDA, I'm not sure I've come across any of that before as well. But I mean, I can't say for big organizations, but they're also, apart from workplace NDAs and all of that, it's an agreement, right? They have seen occasions of head of occasions I've read on news whereby maybe somebody wants to get married, let's say a celebrity wants to get married, and of course you're not allowed to take your phones in to take pictures and all of that. So you have to sign an agreement like, okay, you are not going to tell like so and so. I've not attended the wedding like that, but I think I've read different scenarios whereby I think there's a popular, what's it called, food critic. I just stumbled on it and was like, okay, he's married, and they didn't allow people bring in their phones or talk about it. I was even surprised that when I got to see that he was married. I mean, he didn't want people to know that he's married, which is fine. I mean, whatever rocks your boat. So agreement is you don't disclose whatever it is that is going on. That the non-disclosure, that you can't disclose it. And you can also think of NDAs as that when you have a friend that won't give you gist, you know those about gist that, oh, what's going on, but you know that friend that will not give you that hot gist that is trending. Yeah, you can think of it as that, because of course whatever is going on in an organization, an employee is not allowed to take it out, especially when he or she knows that they've signed a non-disclosure agreement. Now to non-compete.
Just before we go into non-compete, I wanted us to just talk a bit about this.
Okay.
For business owners, because I realize also that these are some of the instances where I've come across business owners, they start a chat with a potential investor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Or they start a chat with a potential competitor.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if it's because of being non-technical enough.
Okay.
They start to reveal things about their operations and what you would consider business secrets and insights.
Okay.
Right? In many of those cases, or in some of those cases, it's important that you have an NDA first, right? And I say it with a bit of care.
Of course.
Right? Because, if you're talking to, let's say, a big man,
yeah,
and you say, sir, before we start to sign this, he will look at you and say, get out of my office.
Get out.
Do you get? So again, it's a careful balancing act that has to go with it. But I think it's important that a lot of Nigerian business owners, if you are at a stage where your operations, you consider them sophisticated enough, it's important that before you enter some relationships or some discussions, have an NDA signed. For instance, it's common that when you want to go and get money from certain investors,
of course,
they will want to look at your books.
Yeah.
They will want to look at your operations. It's not only your pitch deck they will look at. So it's ideal in that, even if you give them an NDA, they will be impressed that, oh, this one knows what he's doing. Because you're not revealing your business secrets just on the basis that...
Okay.
Because the again, why we have the effect is that the effect of not doing that is tomorrow you can't hold the person if they just go and clone your business instead of giving you the money. Do you get? So those are the inverse effect that you as a business owner also have to look at for NDAs, which is why there is not only employment relationship.
Yes, it's not limited to that.
It's not limited to that, just to make that clear.
So basically, we can also, like, within an organization, we can think of NDA as what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like, you can carry I mean, I don't know. Have you been to Vegas before?
No,
Okay, I've not been.
not
I've
yet.
not been there too. So what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I don't know whatever you think happens in Vegas, but I think you understand that illustration. So now to non-compete. A non-compete agreement is a legal agreement that prohibits an employee from working for a competitor or starting a competing business after leaving their job for a specific period or within a certain period of time. Like non-compete stops you from leaving your job, maybe at Chicken Republic, and then
Moving to
opening
item 7.
moving to item 7 within the same
Yeah.
within the same time frame, or like let's say less than a week or 2 weeks later. What do you think about non-compete?
Yeah, so just like the example you cited, it's in that line from the word itself, don't compete with me.
Yeah.
And we have it in typical instances of employee employment relationship. There are also instances where you have it with even business partners.
Yes.
Right. For instance, we can say, oh, Jimmy and I, we both have our law businesses.
Yeah.
Right. But let's say we want to collaborate on a particular venture.
Yeah,
Right?
project.
But because of the collaboration we have on that particular venture,
Yeah.
I may get some information from your business. You may get some information from mine. But what we will now do is that the information we exchange just now for that particular project will be limited to that project. You will not go tomorrow and go and use that information
to make
compete
it, to
me.
make another business.
Yeah. For instance, you may have access to my client list, So a non-compete essentially stops you from going after my client, tomorrow. You may go after my client for that particular project. Do you get?
Yeah.
But for other purposes, which is what you even define in the agreement itself, you can't go after it. So that's what essentially a non-compete tries to do, right? But that's like the general sense of it. We also have to then think of, to what extent can you stop someone
from working,
doing their own business, or carrying out their economic activities, right?
Because everything still comes down to money and making a living. For example, there was recently I had someone come to me like, oh, okay, I've been offered a job of so amount, and I mean the pay. So, but they are like, okay, within a year, if after leaving the job for a whole year, she will have to stay without working in the same, like in a similar organization. Just immediately I recognize this as non-compete. That okay, so I have to explain to her that okay, this is it, because you work for them and you going into a similar organization with the same business objective. You can't just work there for a year. And she was like saying that okay, what if they offer me better pay? I mean, why would I not be able to work? And I explained that, madam, do you want to work or do you not want to work? Because the truth is, if you are explain to her that if you're accepting this employment letter, that means you are like, by default, you are signing into their non-disclosure agreement and their non-compete. Like you are bound by it. But I mean, she's not a lawyer. What goes on in the mind of an average person is the money. I want to make the money. I want to fend for my family. I want to fend for myself and all of that. And I explained to her that you are bound by this. So is it that you take the employment and abide by their rules, or you just go look for another job somewhere else?
Yeah, but the point sometimes is also that, well, in Nigeria, and I think internationally as well, there are some standards. Because let's take that employer, for instance. If they say you shouldn't work for 5 years,
why would I not work for 5 years?
Why would I sit down and
be selling akara somewhere? Please. I mean, after going to school for how many years?
Yeah. So what the international labor standards under the International Labour Organization has done is that, and why that is relevant in our conversation is that the employment courts, quote unquote, in Nigeria, which is the National Industrial Court, has sort of brought in or accepted some of those international labor standards as binding. Because of, I think we have assented to some of the treaties and whatnot. I don't have the full details. But essentially, what those standards say is that you can't take someone's access to what's it called? Standard of living.
Yeah.
The reason why we all have jobs is so that we can make money.
Exactly.
So that we can have a dignity, so that we can have dignity of labor.
Yeah.
So the moment you start overstretching
yeah.
some of these restrictive trade clauses, such as even NDAs or non-competes, the National Industrial Court will look at it, the merits of it, and say, you are doing too much.
Yeah.
For the lack of a better phrase, you're doing too much as an employer. So there are limits to, even if you say 1 year, in some instances they will consider it egregious.
So, I mean, why would somebody stay 1 year without working?
Again, even as an employer, you have to look at some balancing. You can't say, what you should ask yourself is, if this person leaves my company, right, what's the value of information they are going with? Yeah. Right. Which is why, in some instances, non-competes are even for C-suite people.
Yeah, not for the regular.
Yeah, not for with the regular.
Not the regular.
Because, you can't put that in a driver's employment contract. Right. It wouldn't make sense. Yeah. If National Industrial Court looks at that, they will say, you're being ridiculous. There's no trade secret that this person will typically have access to.
Of course.
So they may accept it at maybe an MD level,
yeah,
or senior management level. So again, those are the nuances sometimes that go into what you can accept. So again, my question to your friend would have been, are you a C-suite person? Do you get? Because then I can tell her to sign that agreement. I can tell her to sign that. They won't be able to enforce it.
The funny part was when I checked out this organization that just all these I don't want to say on camera, but then all these loan sharks. All these mini, and I'm like, I don't understand. If at this level people are telling somebody that after a year she can work, because to what extent? Exactly. Yeah. And do you think have you come across any case that has to do with non-compete?
Yeah. I've
what's the duration?
So it wasn't in Nigeria, which is why the example may not be perfect.
I'm talking about Nigeria, really.
I've not seen it enforced per se, right? But the one I am aware of internationally is that some tech companies, I think there was an employee maybe of Microsoft or of Amazon that wanted to move to another big tech company, and he had to basically wait a couple of years. But of course, what the agreement now does is that he was still getting paid at the place he had left.
Wow.
So sort of like a garden leave arrangement. So they are paying you, but you are not allowed to join another company. That's a sweet deal on the face of it. But that's where I've seen it used before. Other than that, I've not really
neither have I really seen it enforced in Nigeria. So basically, the analogy is NDAs guide the recipe. Non-compete stop people from becoming the next chef down the streets. You can't take, you can't, for NDAs, you can't take out their recipe and then give it to somebody else.
Or go and start your own business with it.
Yes. And I feel like when people understand this is just from a place of a little bit of being your brother's keeper in a sense, because you won't take what doesn't belong to you and then probably use it for your own benefits or for the to get more money somewhere else. I think everything still comes down to this money thing. It's a lot, but then it's okay. So also before you sign employment contracts, please watch out for either NDAs or non-compete, so that you won't sign and then you start crying like, I can't work somewhere else. I don't know how possible that is in Nigeria, like we've discussed, but then it's better to read your contract over and over again. And please, if you don't understand something, it's better for you to talk to a lawyer and ask someone that has the legal knowledge to get a better explanation, so that you won't be cheated or outsmarted. So thank you for listening to Clause and Effect, the Smart Conversational Law Podcast. If you have ever been asked to sign an NDA or a non-compete, how tricky they can be. Remember, secrets are one thing, but limiting your future is another. If you like today's episode, hit the subscribe button and share it with someone who definitely doesn't read the fine print. And if you've got a ridiculous NDA or non-compete story, please send it our way via
Should
our
they
mail.
really send it your way?
Yeah, we can. If they have any NDA or non-compete story, we can send it. We can picture. Hypothetically. No, not hypothetically.
So they don't get sued under the NDA.
They can't get sued. You can send it our way, please. You'll see the mail address just down below the screen, and it might just end up on the show. The reason why I'm asking them to send it our way, that maybe they can come and talk about their story of how they eventually treated the case, or how, I mean, they can teach us. So we don't know everything. Lawyers don't know everything. So please, send your stories down to our mail address, and you might just end up on the show. Thank you. See you next episode.